and welcome. I'm Rose Smith from Absolute Soul Secrets. I've got the Caring Cancerians February 2024 horoscope. So first we're going to have a look at the cards, just 2 cards for the month, the first half and the second half. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe and leave a like and a comment. That would be fabulous. Thank you very much. All right, let's go to the board now and let's have a look at the cards. This is your horoscope. We'll come to in a moment. First card, first half of the month, I see a white fence, and it's like how to get out is the feeling, and it's got 2 bars, one at the top and one sort of halfway down. You can climb through. So it's about escaping the boxes that we put ourselves into. Fences are boundaries, and it's like the boundary is just too tight. It's like a snake that grows and has to shed its skin. You may be shedding your skin this month in some way as you transform and grow. The card that comes up is the Lover's card. It's about absorbing the energy of the opposites, integrating that into your personality. This sometimes plays out in a relationship with another human being, and it's a bit sort of complicated. It's push me, pull you. You come together, then you move apart, you come together, you move apart, and that kind of thing. Here's a snake down the bottom. This symbolises healing. Healing comes from this process, a lot of wisdom hopefully as well. The angels are watching out over this. This is a very sacred sort of thing, and people shouldn't be telling you what to do in terms of like relationships, because you're actually in the process of, it's almost like an alchemical process of integrating the energy of the opposite other. This could be a life-changing event that could last for some considerable time, certainly more than just 1 month. The Lover's card. All right, the second half of the month, what do I see for you, Caring Cancerians? A lot of steps. These are action steps that you can take. There's some fish on the side of the steps here. This is about messages from your subconscious. I'm recalling Christ talking about loaves and fishes, loaves of bread, feeding the masses. Of course, you can take it physically, but it's more than that. It's spiritually. It's like you need spiritual nurturance from somebody, basically. The card that comes up is the Ace of Pentacles. This is all about a brand new beginning, particularly to do with your money or possessions, or maybe even the things that you value. You might be changing your mind about what's important in your life, but Spirit is giving you a gift, and you'll see an arbor of trees here. It's a bit like walking through that, and your mind becomes less worried, which is always a good thing. There's blue sky on the other side of this, so clear thinking. All right, here's your horoscope. I'm going to make it bigger so you can see. Keep these 2 cards in mind as well as I talk about this. First thing to note is this rather wide T-square. Normally I wouldn't talk about this because it's involving the moon. The moon will be changing very shortly, like it's moving very fast. It will only be here in the 5th house for 2.5 to 3.5 days. So this effect that I'm talking about now will literally only last for hours on the 1st of the month. The moon is here in your 5th house in Scorpio, opposite Jupiter in Taurus in your 11th house of friends, groups and associates. And both these planets, moon is called a planet in astrology, are square Pluto up here in your 8th house of intimacy, but also shared resources. There's some sort of challenge here to do with your associates, and maybe to do with socializing, but also the things that you share with other people. So maybe the 1st is not a great day to go out and socialize. Maybe it's not a great day to discuss taxes, 401k, superannuation, or anything like real estate or investments, or anything that you share with another person or government agency, for example. Then you will notice here in Aquarius, there's a lot of planets going into Aquarius, having a great big shindig around all of these shared assets and also intimacy. So we have Mercury going in on the 5th or the 6th if you're in Australia and New Zealand, Mars going in on the 13th or the 14th for Australia and New Zealand, Venus going in on the 16th or the 17th in Australia and New Zealand, and the new moon is there as well. Oh, I've put it in the wrong. I put it there in Pisces. Sorry. It's here in Aquarius. Forget that. New moon in Aquarius as well on the 9th or the 10th in Australia and New Zealand. This is a ton of energy to deal with. So this is really saying to me, as well as Pluto being in here that you can hardly see with all these other planets, with Pluto is endings and beginnings. Sometimes it can be the deeper, darker stuff in life, and especially as this is your 8th house, which is traditionally like ruled by Scorpio, there could be some sort of deception or maybe even manipulation at play. It's not a great day on the 1st, and even after that, I would say while you've got all of this discussion going on about intimacy or shared resources, just go slowly, think about everything, but it's like something could come to an end so something new can begin in those areas. Yeah, it's pretty big. Your true node is conjunct Chiron on the 19th or the 20th if you're in Australia and New Zealand here. This is almost like something that is destiny that is going to come up for release out of your subconscious. It's probably to do with your career or perhaps an authority figure or your public life. And it's going to come up and be released, and it's so that some sort of healing can take place. So it's ultimately good news. It's in Aries. It could happen quite boldly, quite suddenly, and out of the blue almost, but not to the extent that Uranus is involved, but it's like it happens there's a lot of energy, it's very active, and again, your public life, an authority figure like a parent or perhaps a boss, because it is in the 10th house, which is your career. So just be on the lookout for that. The sun is also going into Pisces here, bringing a lot of insight and awareness to the need to make your life bigger, the need for travel or re-education or maybe even spirituality. It's like, how do you grow your life and cast your vision to even wider horizons? And sometimes we can do that through education or travel. There may be a lot more to do with somebody who is of a foreign background, or maybe overseas connections that is going on there as well. Mercury will also travel into Pisces so you have the sun, which will be conjunct Saturn. So timing's very important, and scheduling and keeping everything organised if you are travelling. It's very important. But Mercury will also be travelling in here. Mercury is known as the messenger. There could be a lot of communications and even transactions, financial transactions. That's on the 23rd or the 24th if you're in Australia and New Zealand. The full moon is bringing up a bit of turbulence perhaps in your 3rd house of communications, but it's also learning generally, relearning something. If you're going overseas, you might be looking at learning about the country, for example. Sometimes it's to do with brothers or sisters or distant cousins or siblings that you may have lost contact with, or they might be geographically distant or emotionally distant even. But yeah, there could be a bit of turbulence there, so you may need plenty of time for downtime or time to yourself to process what is going on emotionally, especially you, dear Cancer, who is ruled by the moon. So the moon has a really big effect upon you. So do keep a lookout for that. There could also be something going on in your local area. Maybe something's changing, traffic patterns are changing, or there's road work going on, something like that. Or in your street, somebody's building a house and you have to deal with traffic or builders coming and going, or tradespeople coming and going, or in America you'd say contractors coming and going, which might be annoying. They could be making a lot of racket early in the morning, for example. That could also be going on, which is like a bit of a nuisance, but it won't last forever. The full moon will only be here a few days, and then it'll be moving on. So there's a fair bit happening this month, but certainly you're being encouraged to grow. You're being encouraged to look at your intimate life with another person. If you don't have another person, because not everybody does, it's your intimate life with yourself. And things like being dishonest with yourself, breaking your promises to yourself, these are very important, and yet we sort of put ourselves on the bottom of the list. We should really be on the top of the list in a sense. So we have to keep on going, keep on functioning, and especially if you're a mother or you're looking after somebody, maybe you're a carer, you need to have your downtime so you can keep on going. Otherwise you just run out of steam, obviously. But there's some healing going on. Yes, there's a few challenges, but it's a bit of an exciting month because this 9th house, all about growing your life. Something else is calling you for sure. And how can you make your life more in alignment with who you really are? The world is calling you. It's all coming together, dear Capricorns. Dear Cancers. Sorry, I've jumped. All right, so that's it. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate that. Leave a like and a comment. That would be cool. Mostly and importantly, have a wonderful month, everyone. I'll see you all again soon. Thanks and bye for now.